All right, everybody, another 15-minute live stream test. I'm currently in the subway station in Shanwei. I don't know why that's still showing up. And yeah, trying out streaming this time with streamlabs, which in the past had much better quality. It's very noisy in here, obviously. You can hear the announcements behind me. I've got a half-hour wait for my train, so I'm going to stream for again 15 minutes just to see how much data 1080p streaming with Streamlabs consumes. And that should put me pretty close to the boarding time for the train. Though I do have an assigned seat, so it doesn't matter. There's no rush to get on. It is very fast though. The train pulls up and it's here for 10 minutes maximum, and that's the time allotted for everybody to get off the train and back on the train again. So like I said, I'll be very curious to see how this looks, but if you want to see, here's the train station behind me. It's not a big station. There's another floor downstairs. There's not a lot of people waiting for the train right now. There are 64 high-speed trains that go through this station every day, so they're not necessarily even on my train. My train will be coming at 1:50. It's currently 1:20, so I've got half an hour. So I figure I'll stream 15 minutes and see, just to see what the audio sounds like, just to see how the quality is. I'm getting a little bit of lagginess in the display, but then again, I am streaming at 1080p on purpose. This time I've got it on a tripod so that it's not so shaky and I have my hands free. It's funny that the young guy behind me there is curious to see what I'm doing. Of course, anytime a young person sees a camera, a phone, something going on, they're interested, right? So yeah, it should be interesting. Got 3 people watching. If anybody is out there, oh, Yong, hey Yong, how you doing? I haven't planned on going to Hangzhou, but you know, I haven't planned on going anywhere. I just decided to go to Shanwei last week, and I had a really good time for the past 4 days. So who knows? Next week I'm going to find somewhere else. Yeah, I figured it probably would be laggy. I'm using the Hong Kong SIM card, so no VPN. So that part of it's working okay. But like I said, I thought I'd try the 1080p this time just to see the difference. The YouTube app stream today at 720p was okay, but that was in the daylight. So there was no pixelation. It looked actually quite good considering. So for daytime streams, I might just do that generally in the future because 1080p is just a bit too laggy. I'll be curious to see if this stream works better, the same, or worse. You know, it was lunchtime, and of the few old dudes around, I'm not sure, honestly, how many of them would understand me. A lot of the older generation here all speak their own hometown dialect. They speak very, very little Mandarin. I bought some really delicious little nomi, the little sticky rice balls with a delicious ginger sauce off this lovely old lady yesterday on the street, but she couldn't speak a word of Mandarin, or English for that matter, so we had fun chatting with each other. But yeah, it was interesting. Even simple things like numbers I couldn't figure out, and they couldn't figure out what I was saying. Yeah, that's kind of the challenge, especially when visiting these smaller communities. Just like in my wife's hometown, nobody speaks, well, the kids maybe. The kids speak Mandarin, but none of the adults over 40 do. Not one of them. But that doesn't mean that they don't all like talking to me and we don't have a good time chatting. Yeah, high-speed train home. Looks like a lot more people are starting to show up now, so it'll probably be a full train again, but that's okay. I think could be speaking Cantonese, but I don't think it is. I recognize Cantonese, especially numbers. When people tell me prices in Cantonese, I know what they're saying, but when I've been talking to these vendors, these older vendors here, it's not Cantonese. It's definitely not Cantonese. Shanwei absolutely has its own hometown dialect, which is probably a combination of Cantonese and several other smaller local dialects as well. Yeah, the station is nice and clean. It's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how much more data this consumes. I don't know if you saw the last stream that I did earlier out on the street, but that one was okay. It'll consume about 1.5 gig of data per hour for the data itself on 720p through the YouTube app, which is not bad. That means for 200 Hong Kong dollars, I can get 16 or 17 one-hour live streams out of it. So that's okay. That's not bad. That's not a terrible investment. Though now that I know it definitely works, I will definitely look into the next time I'm there, possibly signing up for a SIM card package where I can refill the card as opposed to just buying a new card every time I need it. Oh, sure. Lots and lots of Hakka people here, and in these smaller communities as well, there'll be just people that speak their own language. Like my wife's hometown is close enough to Vietnam that it's not remotely similar to Mandarin. There's a little bit of Cantonese in there, but it's Cantonese that's mixed with other local dialects, including Vietnamese. So it's really, really challenging. I can only say one thing in her hometown dialect, but when I do say it, the people love me. Absolutely love me. All I have to do to make people in my wife's hometown smile is say Leho Nehegmada. Now Leho, of course, is Cantonese hello, like ni hao, right? But Nehegmada, nobody knows that. Only people in her own hometown know that. Anybody watching the stream know what Nehegmada means? Anyone? I bet you don't. It's not your fault, though. It's a very common saying, though. In China, it's probably, aside from ni hao, it's the most common saying. Nehegmada means chifan lameo. Have you had your lunch? Or have you eaten? All right. Yeah, it's really starting to pick up behind me there. Not a ton. And there will be, let me check the schedule here. The schedule's all in Chinese, but that's okay. Oh, that's going all the way to 5 o'clock now. Wow. Be a while before that comes back. Yep, have you eaten? That is correct. 6 o'clock now, wow. People have been very, very nice. Hey, Thomas, how are you? From good old Calgary. Good old Calgary. Woohoo! As an Edmontonian, though, I honestly have to say I didn't spend much time in Calgary. I've spent way more time in Guangzhou and Hong Kong than I ever did in Calgary. It's not that I didn't like Calgary, it's just it was 3 hours away and didn't really have anything that I needed I couldn't get in Edmonton. Alright, so yes, there is a train that is boarding now. But that looks like it's downstairs. So yeah, a lot of these people probably are joining me on the train, but that's okay. Then I have people to follow to get to the train. Alright, so it's been 10 minutes. I'm only going to go 15 minutes once again, guys, on this stream. It is meant to be just a very short test. I did a 15-minute stream if you haven't been watching earlier. That was actually quite good in the area around my hotel before I went for lunch. Talked to a lady from the local chongfen shop that I've been to 3 of the 4 days that I've been here, because the chongfen is just off the hook delicious. I've never had chongfen like that. It's definitely their own variety. But I was talking to her today, and she mentioned that that shop had been in business there for 30 years. 30 years, and the staff all recognized me, and I chatted with them every day. Yeah, it's a great little place. But I did that little stream in 720p. Really? Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know, because I've got the phone about a foot and a bit in front of my face here, and there is substantial noise behind me, but this is a good phone with really good camera. I'm using the front camera, so also using the I'm assuming the bottom microphone. But yeah, this is an Oppo Find X8, but it's nice to know the sound is good. Yeah, I'll be very curious to see the replay, because like I said, the YouTube stream earlier looked good in the daytime at 720p, and I think 720p is the maximum. But at nighttime, or in low light conditions, the YouTube streaming app is terrible. It's really bad. But yeah, the other big thing will be how much data Streamlabs is using. Though I gotta say, it is nice that with this SIM card and not having to go through the VPN, that I think is going to make a huge difference. Because like I said before, in the past I was using my 5G on my iPhone, opening up a hotspot, connecting from my Oppo phone to the hotspot on my iPhone, turning on the VPN on my Oppo, and then going to the Streamlabs app. So there was a lot of intermediary steps before I got to the internet. And I'm very sure that was having an impact on the live streaming capabilities. So ideally, I hope that the data consumption is not too crazy for this particular stream. That would be great. That would be really good. The only difficulty, though it's minor, is that when I stream through Streamlabs, it won't automatically click on the YouTube monetization, which means I can't really make any money off my live streams when it's live, which is kind of annoying. But if I do fiddle with the phone and go through the YouTube web page, I can turn it on while it's streaming, but it's a bit of a big hassle. It'd be better if I had a tablet or something here to do it with, but again, not a big deal, not a hassle, whereas the YouTube app allows you to do it automatically. But the big deal is the data. So yeah, there are people just pouring in over here, coming up this escalator. Of course, now as soon as I turn the camera that way, there's nobody there. Of course. Yeah, there's a lot of people coming in. A lot of people, I'm guessing, absolutely will be heading to Shenzhen. And the train will be pretty much full already, as it's coming from other stations down the line as well. I just wonder today if I'm going to have to, pardon me, have a little mild argument with somebody about the seat. It happens a lot on these train trips where you do have assigned seats, but unless you're getting on at the initial destination, people tend to just sit wherever they want, and then you've got to come up and go, hey, this is my seat, and they'll go, oh, well, my seat's somewhere over there. Like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to go sit in somebody else's seat and play, the hopscotch when it comes to seating. Just you go find your seat. I'm going to sit here. I've never had any problems with people moving, especially since I'm quite an enormous foreigner compared to them anyway, so it'll be fun to see. Well, the people are pouring in, and I'm about 10 minutes away from boarding. It's been a 15-minute live stream, so everybody, I hate to cut it short, but I am going to stop the stream now because I want to get that metric rated about the 15-minute mark. And yeah, I guess I should start getting ready, pack up my stuff to get onto the train. So thanks everybody for joining me. We will see you in the next video. Zaijian.